Hey everybody! It's time for the season premiere. Season number 3 of your Poem of the Week. Coming to you live from the Jim Alberti Theater in Austin, Texas. Good to be here at a new time, 7 o'clock. I'm running a little bit late. I had some technical difficulties getting the theater set up. But the show must go on. It is Tuesday, September the 13th. And show me some love, everybody. Hit the love button. It will come back to you in infinity. And that is the theme of this week's Poem of the Week. Infinity. Hit the love button, it will come back to you in infinity, but don't hit the anger button. We got plenty of that in this world. If you can afford to support me or this broadcast, you can do so. PayPal at Paul Chandler, Venmo at The Chris Chandler Show, or Patreon.com, The Chris Chandler Show. Just a couple of bucks a month would help a lot. Thanks for gathering around.
Congratulate everybody on a successful rendezvous and a great show for everybody, Owen.
Oh, it's good to be back here in Austin at the Jim Alberti Theater. We'll get right to it with your Poem of the Week. I told you it was going to be the subject of infinity, and I believe that will be the case. Because it was Magellan that proved Copernicus right by circumnavigating the globe. One day, somebody's going to prove that Einstein was right. But in order to do that, we're going to have to learn a whole lot more about infinity. Einstein maintained that the universe is round, that eventually every straight line in the universe will intersect upon itself. Now, if you think about that, the possibilities are endless. I mean, doesn't it naturally follow that Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity will eventually admit that they are just secretly attracted to one another and admit that they've always been Episcopalians? You know, there are computers out there that do nothing all day except try to count to infinity. You read about it in the paper. But now computers, they count in base 2. We count in base 10. Because we have 10 fingers. Now, I'm not making this up. The Mayans, they counted in base 20, perhaps because they didn't wear any shoes. As for me, I learned to count from Sesame Street. But did you ever notice that the count in Sesame Street only has 4 fingers? I thought it should be counting in base 8. It left me confused. I learned to count in base 11 because I had my hands in my pockets. But in the end, there are only 10 types of people in this world. Those that know binary and those that don't. Usually only about 11 in 10,000 people get that joke. But the point I'm trying to make here is that infinity is just one digit shy of nothing. Now, the Bible had a little run-in with infinity that seemed to confirm that notion. I mean, wasn't the goal of the architects working on the Tower of Babel trying to reach the infinite? Shouldn't the subcontractors have realized the problem with this? Or maybe they did reach the infinite, and that's exactly why it fell. You get too close to heaven and poof, you're back to zero. You get too close to heaven, and you find yourself speaking Spanish in a Chi-Chi's in Dubuque, Iowa, trying to order the Pollo Guadalajara and having a waitress in a polyester uniform say, "You want that with beef or chicken?" As for me, I went for years thinking that Taco Bell was the Mexican phone company. But the point I'm trying to make here is that infinity is just one digit shy of nothing. So I should be able to tell the bank that I am not $487 overdrawn. I have nearly $500 more than infinity. You might not be buying it, but I've convinced a half a dozen of Donald Trump's accountants to approve my loan for a new Cadillac, and I'm going to simply back my way into the two-car garage of heaven. But the point I'm trying to make here is that infinity is just one digit shy of nothing. So if I do like all those hippies at those hippie festivals I go to tell me to do, and just count your blessings, dude, will I one day discover that I have none? Human beings are always trying to improve themselves. Every now and then an invention will come along that changes us forever. The wheel, the printing press, the lazy boy. Human beings are changed forever until we only have vague stories of what life was like before them. Hey, Grandpa, could you tell us what life was like before Iraq became the 53rd state? Human beings are always trying to expand, or they get expanded upon. It's manifest destiny. But one man's destiny is another man's chapter 11, or chapter 3 in base 2. But the point I'm trying to make here is that infinity is just one digit shy of nothing. And my friends, this is not a race. And remember that the world is round. And if it were a race, whoever is in first place is slightly behind the guy in last. And maybe, just maybe, if we realize that, we would see that the kingdom of heaven is spread out before us. And if we don't see that, there will be no heaven, for there will be no here forever. There you have your poem of the week. Hang around for your moment of spin. But this has been your poem of the week. How y'all doing? At a new time. I'm surprised not too many people are watching here at a new time. And we are. Hey, Amy, how you doing? Amy is a proud owner of one of the spin books. There are 3 of them, 3 volumes, only I numbered them randomly. I decided to start doing this on Tuesdays because I am going to be supplementing my lucrative income as a poet by being a stagehand. And Tuesday is entertainer's weekend, so I had have some time off usually on Tuesdays. Thank you for the love button. But we will do your moment of spin. Can you give me a number between 1 and 3? I know it takes a second, so I will remind you that you can support me or this broadcast at Bald Chandler via PayPal, The Chris Chandler Show via Venmo, or The Chris Chandler Show via Patreon. A number between 1 and 3. I know it takes a second. It's good to be back in Austin. I have nothing on the books right now as a performing poet or musician. That will change soon. I will be at the Kerrville Folk Festival. That's the only thing I have on the books. And Barbara says number 2, the only number between 1 and 3 actually is 2, and that comes from Observations from a Roadside Diner, volume number 18. Now, give me a number between 1 and 127. 1 and 127. If you would like to order this book, you can do that at my website, chrischandler.org. I'm an organizer, not a communist. And I'm still waiting on that number between 1 and 127. Do y'all like the new theater? I'm glad to be back in it. It was shipped all the way from New Jersey. And that's the reason that I decided to make this a new series, because this is, a couple of days ago was the anniversary of the event that turned my world upside down and made me land in Austin. And Joanne Tinder, how are you? Says number 11, because I made a reference to that poem, Counting in Base 11. It's about as blue as my jokes get. Wow. Comes with a picture and everything. Your moment of spin. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner from Joanne Tinder. Death is like a kid in a candy store, and life is an eternal dental appointment. Much waiting and torment, flipping through back issues of life, waiting on the inevitable bad news, which is sure to be followed by much pain. We have a nice little picture there. That is from Dental History, which was written by me and Phil Rockstro. Phil Rockstro is a fine poet out of Germany these days, I do believe is where he is living. Thank you so much for gathering around here in the Jim Alberti Theater. This has been your Poem of the Week.